hand raised because my guest is here. Here is founding mother of Wivla, Carly Cohen.
Oh,
Hey,
wow. Hi, Carlene.
hey.
Hi.
Uh,
Hi.
Go deer.
Yeah.
Yes. I can still sing. I still know the it's not the school fight song. I think it's the school anthem. I can still
It's a
sing.
school song. Yeah, I know some of it.
I know it all and I have no idea because I can barely remember my middle name. But that one
Yeah,
that I remembered.
it's stuck in our brains.
Well, I'm sorry, my phone was ringing. You know, Carlene and I live like all of 10 steps from each other, and we
Really?
decided we have to get together more.
So we decided
Wow.
we're gonna do it around Wibble meetings.
Yes,
There you go.
Thanks.
Good plan.
thumbs up.
Yes, Susan, yes, I got it.
Okay, great.
Mike.
Okay, is that tequila?
Oh, that's just water. I gotta.
Oh, I'm
But we
disappointed.
also have glasses.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yeah, that would be too much tequila. See,
No, I know. This is a great idea. We're gonna be glad we inaugurated this. Here
Maybe
do we
we should
have
all go to Kay's house.
Yeah.
That's where the party is.
Hey folks, this is Melissa. I am here. Just my laptop is acting peculiar, and so I'm doing this on my phone. So I'll just keep my little picture off, but I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, Melissa.
Wow, we actually have two screens tonight. That's fantastic.
Hey, Deidre. Hello.
Now, who else have we not?
Pat.
Jean Key is here. All right. Let's see who else we've got on our other page here. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I think we're a minute early, but we can go ahead and get started with Melody reading our mission statement.
Okay. WIFLA's mission is to provide an inspiring forum for women to explore and advance their creative development, to promote their work in the marketplace, and to infuse the community with their spirit of cooperation and invention. Yeah.
Yay. Thank you, Melody.
Sure.
Let's see, I know we have one new member here tonight. Melissa, do you see any others?
Well, on my little tiny phone screen, everybody is about half an inch big.
Oh, okay, okay.
There could be there could be 1,000 new members.
Oh, well, all right, never mind. I know, do you say it Tiffany? Tiffany?
No, it's Tiffany. It's very
Yes.
simple. It's so complicated. Yes.
tiny.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us, everybody, a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
What you like to do?
So my name is Tiffany. Tiffany Lewis, from New York City. I've been in Houston 10 years. I'm an educator. I'm also a counselor. I'm also an all-around artist. I've published poetry book. I work in all different mediums, from painting to sewing to all types of crafting, journalism. I'm a reading teacher, reading and writing teacher. So I also make flowers out of leather and all types of things. So I'm a basic artisan. And I was just looking for a tribe. Like I said, I've been here 10 years. It took me a long time being from New York. I was trying to look for New York here in Houston, which you can't do that because Houston has its own pulse, especially the art community. So again, like I had mentioned, my therapist told me about the organization, and the day she told me about it was the day I joined. And so, yeah, I'm just looking forward to what this is all going to be. So thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for the membership.
Welcome.
Welcome. Sounds like you're going to have a lot to offer us. And we hope that we have a lot to offer you as well. Let's see, I'm looking around. I don't see any other new members.
So Bobby, how long are you?
Hello. Hello. I'm in the process of joining with y'all. I'm a retired lady here in Houston, been in Houston for 4+ years. I retired from Marathon Oil. There I ran their team called Creative Resources, and we were responsible for all of the photography and graphics and branding and meetings and events for the company. I came into the art community once I had more time on my hands. I've always dabbled along the way, but between working and kids, it wasn't ever an opportunity for me to make it a major focus. I got my start back into the trenches with Louise Fletcher, and as a group of her followers here in Houston, we have our own art tribe. And that's how I met Shirley and Mary, was through our Houston art tribe. And then they introduced me to WASH, and I joined them. And then I joined the Houston Art Society. So I'm taking classes and meeting artists and enjoying all of that. So I just thought y'all would be another great group of gals to get in the mix with.
And we are.
We definitely are.
And
I knew I had seen your name before, and I've met you because I'm in Houston. I'm in the group with Shirley and Mary too. So
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Pat.
Pat.
And Pat, yes, Pat's in
Pat,
Chicago.
welcome.
Donna. There you are. Donna's a time attending with us.
Well, while we're talking about membership, Melissa, you want to tell us about our fantastic membership drive that we have going on?
Oh, Susan, Donna was
Donna
going
was,
to.
yeah.
Oh, Donna?
No, I was just saying hello.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, it's fine. No, this is just my first time joining a Zoom meeting. I was
Okay.
very intrigued by the topic
Yay.
and in fact, I'm skipping out on a dinner with a workshop I'm in right now I said, no, I'm not missing this one. So glad to be here.
No pressure.
Welcome.
Okay, let me see if I'm having to flip screens. Also, I got my eyes dilated today, so I'm having to kind of.
That hurts.
If you see me like getting really close to the screen, it's like I'm trying to see you. I don't think I see anybody else new. Speak up if you're here for the first time. Mary.
I am. I'm sorry. I've been a member for a year, and this is my first meeting that I've been able to come to because there's another meeting on the same night and they switched theirs, and then y'all switched this from another. Anyway, I'm here and I'm very excited. So I plan to attend more. Thank you.
Good.
I didn't realize this was your first time attending. Since I see you every once
I
in a while.
know I'm delinquent.
Not where I was going with this.
I know you're too sweet. No, thank you.
Let's see. Anybody else? All right. Melissa, you want to tell us about our membership drive?
You bet. I love that tonight is a perfect example of WIBLA just sort of fits into your life when it's supposed to be in your life. Like, Mary's been a member, but this is her first meeting. Tiffany's finding a new place. Bobby is introduced to us from a friend of a friend. That's how the connections in WIBLA get started. And then we all benefit from the talents and the experience you bring. And so that's what our membership campaign is all about, reaching out to people that we know They may be in other creative circles, and maybe people we work with, and maybe people who said, you know, at some point I'm going to get back to writing, or I'm going to get back to doing artwork. And this is the place for them to be. And so, in honor of International Women's Month that comes up in March, we launched our membership campaign today, and we are running it through the end of March. And really what that means is we are going to be, you know, putting a lot more social media out there about membership with WIVLA. We're going to be providing our members with flyers and a template they can use to email out to, you know, friends and associates, and just really making a concerted effort for 6 weeks to try and grow our membership and let people know this hidden gem in Houston in the art community. And we hope that you all participate and tell people and look for the emails that will be coming in your inbox. There'll be mentions in the newsletter. So keep an eye out for all that great info and then help share it. So I know there's others on the membership campaign committee that are on the call tonight. Melody, Alyssa, any of you want to jump in and add anything to that?
You got goodies, swag, prizes.
That's right. If you need an incentive, there's goodies.
So,
Any-
Melissa, did you want to share the PowerPoint?
If you have it handy, we certainly can.
Like that?
See, it looks like it is sharing. Oh, there it is. Look at that. We have visual aids. Thank you, Melody. So yeah, this sort of just reiterates, it's microscopic on my screen, but just the dates from now till the end of March. You know, and keep an eye out for emails and flyers and things that we'll keep providing. And you know, social media, you can love it and hate it, but boy, it is good about helping spread the word. And so Melissa's going to be doing a great job of posting things on Instagram and Facebook, which makes it super easy to just grab those and share them into your own feed. And then that way it reaches the people that you know, and let them know, one, that you're a member, and that there's a lot of exciting things happening this year, and they should be a part of that too. And I think slide 2 talks about the trinkets, the goodies, as Denise mentioned, that you know, we'll be doing some drawings to some of the new members. We'll be doing drawings for members who refer the most new members. And again, anything else that anybody wants to add to that?
Good.
All right. Well, let's keep the word going and spread it around, let people know what we're up to. We had a lot of nice people join last year, which is exciting. And of course, this year is the collaboration between artist and literary. And we have another anthology. So there's lots of cool opportunities for people to participate and dive right in. And to do those, you need to be a member. So that is another incentive if you'd like to be part of those really cool exhibits and opportunities. So I think that's it. Back to y'all.
Members should have received an email today. Some
Yeah,
members.
Yep.
I did get one.
I got one.
You did.
Yay.
No, Zyder got one. All right.
That's amazing.
Yay.
Well, I really do love the name of this campaign, The Power of Belonging. That's who we are. There's so much power in just belonging to this group. But we also want to get to the point where we have more of you that are participating in all of the things that we do. So I'm looking forward to spreading the word myself with all of this new material that they've created. Thank you so much. Great job, everybody. I want to talk to you now about one of the perks about being a member, and that is our ECHO grant. we've been, the ECHO grant is, it stands for the Educational and Cultural Opportunity Grant. And we do this every year. And we've been doing it since 1999. We have awarded over $54,000 to members in our group, in the membership of WIVLA. And the way this works is that every year we give $1,000 to a literary member and to a visual member. And they can use those funds however they like to further their artistic endeavors, their artistic journey. I was a recipient one year, and I used the money to help with a show that I was doing, buy materials for that, help with the reception. It also helped me to go to Ireland and do a workshop there. But we've had people use it for all kinds of things. You have to have been a member for 2 years, and you can't have ever received the ECHO grant before to win. So the deadline for this is April the 11th, and you can go to our website under Why WIVLA, and you have to scroll down and see where the ECHO grant is being written about. And there's a little box there that says enter here. So it's not hard. It's not hard at all. So we want everybody that hasn't participated yet to join in. It's done by a blind drawing, and we do it at our meeting. And we know immediately who the winners are going to be. And then we also have a presentation every year of the former ECHO grant recipients, which is always a lot of fun to find out what they use their money for. So that's coming up in April. So any questions about that from anybody or anything to add to it?
I just have one comment.
Okay.
We ask in the form, what you plan to use the money for. We're not going to hold your feet to the fire on that. Stuff happens, you change your mind, an opportunity might arise. So don't feel constricted by that. Don't get wrapped around the axle that you have to come up when you apply.
Right. That is right.
Kay has a question.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to add, you said additions. First of all, it's great. I bought a printer and I took myself to San Antonio to do research, and of course the greatest one is dear Seton, Peggy Seton, is it? And she put in a new septic system to help with her dyeing, her dyeing of her materials and everything. That's one of the
Awesome.
I want to say, for those of you who have financial brains, we gave $2,000, 2 winners for each visual and 2 winners for literary in our anniversary year, 25th anniversary year. And that's why if your brain is administrative like mine, I went in there and was thinking, well, how many years has it been? But that's why it's a higher number, because in our anniversary year, we celebrated by giving 2.
25th anniversary.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that it was the treasurer's recommendation that we did.
And who was that treasurer at the time? All right. Any other questions about that or comments?
I dropped the direct link into the chat if people want to just grab that in case you
good.
are a little hard to find based on
Okay.
the description.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Denise. I think we'll move on now to let's hear what's going on with our literary team
We
right
have
now.
such a fun year, folks. I tell you what, we've got all kinds of stuff happening. Next month is our celebration on March 8th. There's going to be a Zoom celebration of our anthology, and the winners are going to be invited to read, and we just love to have everyone come. More information will be sent out through the usual email blast channel for the links and the times and things. But that's the International Women's Day in that month, and it's a Sunday night. So we hope that we will come and check us out and purchase your copy so that you can read along with us as we're doing that. We love your support. We also have Gladys has helped us get connected with the library to do our annual Poetry by the Bay event. That is going to be April 11th on a Saturday. We're looking at 10:30 to 12:30, and we've got things that we were thinking about doing before and after because we went out to lunch last year. It was fun and fantastic. So if you're a writer or you know writers who would like to join WIBLA and come out and join us there, it's a great bit of fun. We have other events planned. You can check out the calendar. We have another poetry event in April. We have scheduled readings, all kinds of stuff happening posted to the calendar. We also invite you to check out our monthly WIVLA book club. Every month we have a book selected and we meet at Coco's on 34th Street in the afternoon. Usually it's the last Saturday of the month, barring holiday times. But we'd love to have you join us. We have so much fun discussing books and eating good sugary stuff, drinking coffee. So come join us for that. And as Melissa mentioned, we do have the next anthology. It's getting ready to spin up. Our theme is power, and we're talking about all kinds of power. It's I'll put a post in the chat for the prospectus so that you guys can go check it out. But we have the contest for the title. We have a contest for you artists for the cover art. We had a fantastic winner this year, and we're hoping to get lots of good entries for our cover art because your art will go on the cover of the book that's being sold, and people are loving both the artwork and the interior writings. So we'll send you out to the prospectus, check that out. We will begin opening up the competition in mid-May, but I just want to give advance notice for people to start thinking about what art they want to produce, what art they have, writings that they want to start working on. And like I said, check the calendar. Lots of good stuff out there for you all.
So Denise, did you mention that you can start signing up now for reading at poetry?
Are you sure about that? Because it still just has the register on the calendar.
Okay. All right. Well,
It
good.
doesn't have the sign up, the smart entry, or the one to sign up for reading.
Okay, so coming soon. Check the calendar. There should be, yeah, I'll get that done.
Melody and I are working on that tomorrow, Jamie, to get all that straightened out. So not to worry, we'll get our act together soon.
A calendar near you.
I just want to say about Poetry by the Bay that it's a fun event to attend. I was not one of the readers, but I just had a great time going and listening and being with everybody. So you don't have to be a reader to go to the Poetry by the Bay. Just go and enjoy. Everyone goes out to lunch, and it's just I think I didn't go, but I think you went to the beach after, and yeah, it was a really, really enjoyable time for everyone. So we can carpool too. If anybody needs rides, we can maybe work out some carpools. Okay, let's find out what's going on in visual.
Well, we have the second event at Marie's studio for the meet and greet. It's what it's called. It's for the visual artist to meet and greet with the literary artists. Last time, it's this coming Sunday from 1 to 3. And Marie, what's your studio number at Winter Street?
It's B240
Okay, right. It's B240.
upstairs.
Yeah, we really, really, really need some literary artists there last time. And again, it's February 22nd, 1 to 3. We had 99% were visual artists. So we need some literary artists to attend to meet up, join, so we can have our collaborations.
I'm gonna put my name on the chat. I'm sorry, my phone number in case some people get there and have difficulty finding me.
Thank you, Marie.
Just call me or message or text me, and I'll come down and get you if you are having trouble accessing through one of the doors. The best thing is to use entrance B and go straight up the those stairs. If you need the elevator, let me know. You use entrance C to get up to use the elevator.
And entrance B is by the railroad tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
both face the tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. CMB.
I guess I
I-
want to ask if anybody has any question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Deborah. I was just going to ask if anybody that's on the call tonight doesn't know what the collaboration is, what we're talking about. Does anybody need a little more information about that?
I'd like a little bit more information. Although I was not able to attend all of the meeting last month because I was in another state, and I did read some of it. But I'd like to just give a quick, maybe 2 minutes, if everybody could, maybe just two, because we have new people that hadn't heard about it either that are new.
Well, the theme is wild.
Okay,
And the visual and literary chairs got together and came up with the theme, and it was unanimous and a very quick come together. And the idea is that a literary artist pairs with a visual artist, and there's a collaboration that goes on that is connected to the theme wild. And then the show will be in August through September, and it will be at Sabine Studios, and we will give you more information on that later.
Okay.
Anything else? Anybody about that? Yes, Joe. You're going to have to unmute. Joe, can you unmute? You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did it the opposite way. Sorry. Archway Gallery is doing the 50th anniversary of Archway Gallery, and they're honoring the original members, of whom I am not actually an original because they formed in 1976 and I joined in 1978. But I was one of the artists who was at the Young Center originally in our original space there. And so they're having an exhibit to honor the 50th anniversary with as many of the original people as they can get to participate. And I'm going to be showing my latest series, which is called Parasitic Tendencies. And it's a montage of smaller works. And they're beautifully framed in old antique frames that I've restored that have domed glass on them, which adds a little bit of elegance to my images. Anyway, that's going to open on March 17th. I'm sorry, March 14th. March 14th will be a reception and artist talk at the Young Center. Hope you can come.
Thank you, Joe. Deborah, did you have anything else for us?
I do not have anything else on wild unless there are some other questions.
I dropped the prospectus link in the chat.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Denise.
right. Let's see, I don't think I'm missing anybody as far as a report.
I did want to say the deadline for submitting things to the newsletter.
Oh, yes, Rebecca.
Sorry.
No, that's great. Thank you for
So
up.
it has like celebrations, updates, you're up to something and you want to tell us about it, please email that to newsletter@wivla.org and I'll put that in the chat as well. So Friday normally would be the day by which I need it in order to get it in the next newsletter. If something amazing happens to you on Saturday, still send it just in case. And I'll try my best.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to share with anybody as far as social media or anything at all? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Forgot I muted myself. I don't think so, other than, if you're sharing any news or anything you've got going on Instagram, make sure and collaborate with us so we can share that to everybody else. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Well, if there's no other announcements, we will spend some time at the end of this for everyone to talk about what's going on, things that we need to know about, things that you're proud of, things that you want to share with the group. We'll spend some time after our presentation tonight doing that. So, Alyssa, are you in charge of this? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you.
I don't know if I'm in charge of it, but I'm kicking it off.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. Really, really great to see such a robust audience of smiling faces. Thank you for being here. So our presentation tonight is based on submissions and particularly submitting work for visual submissions. We had a monthly member presentation last year that was submitting work to literary competitions, and it was so good that we felt we had to we had no choice but to respond with a visual version of the same. We have 4 different panelists, including myself. My name is Alyssa Davis. I am the Director of Internal Operations at the Jung Center. But one of my job duties under that very large umbrella is being the manager of our gallery. And so I'll be speaking with Melody about the submission process and how to optimize your submissions and how to make life easier for yourself in that process. And so I'm going to turn things over to the ladies to introduce themselves, and then we'll kick things off. Melody?
Hi. So I've been involved with entering shows probably since about 2016. And in the last 5 years have become much more involved in the writing of the prospectus, and within the last couple of years, very much involved with receiving the entries, compiling the information during submissions for catalogs, the labeling of the show, and so forth. Everything that you need to provide during the submission process. So Alyssa and I will be talking about the front end of being in a show, and that's responding to a call. And then we will turn it over to Deborah and Marie, who will talk about the equally important latter part of the submission process, and that's happily when you're selected and you can bring your work to the show.
The horror stories.
Oh, horror stories.
So there are horror stories to go all around one. But when I was a relatively new member of WIBLA, and I believe I joined in late 2016, we had a meeting where we had one person talking about the do's and don'ts of entering into a visual show. And then we also had someone at that same meeting talk about literary submissions. And it was so timely for me. And it's been many years now. It's like, what, 8 years or so? I'm not exactly sure when the meeting was. So I know there's a lot of new faces in our organization who could benefit, as well as maybe some of need reminders of the do's and don'ts of entering a show and the things that you can do to shoot yourself in the foot. And we want to avoid that. No shooting in the foot. So Alyssa and I have a couple of different angles if we come from this. I am usually looking at individual submissions, where Alyssa is looking at it more from a show. So you get to have a solo show at the Jung Center. And I think regardless of whether you're responding as an individual for, a theme show, some of the ones like we have at WIVLA and many other organizations throughout the country and the world, I'd say the number one thing to do is to read the prospectus. When you finish reading the prospectus, then you read the prospectus. And then you read the prospectus. And maybe you should print out the prospectus and start circling things.
Easy to highlight.
That, if you can read and count, that you're halfway there. If an organization has a convention, and we often do at WIVLA, where a file has to be named a certain way, by gosh, that's what you should do. Name the file that way. I've just spent 3 weeks on the receiving end of submissions for a PhotoFest participating space. I don't have one of those fancy web apps where you can submit it. I tell them I want 5 submissions. They have to name the file a certain way, and that file name becomes my unique identifier. I can't tell you how many IMG_4589s or what have you I received in the mail. That doesn't work. It's not unique. I need to have the convention that I gave. A few years ago, I did another PhotoFest show, and part of the submission process was provide a 100-word bio. And Alyssa could probably speak to this too. That's not 250. That's not 500. It's, and really something more than I attend LaSalle is probably not quite sufficient. I even had, and this was a guy, send me an email saying that he was too accomplished to submit a 100-word bio. You want to be This was the first time I'd ever used ChatGPT, plopping a 250-word bio and saying, reduce to 100 words. And just like that, you have a 100-word bio. Now you can dress it up or whatever, but no one is so accomplished that they cannot reduce their life to, unfortunately, 100 words. And file size, it's a bad thing if you submit, a 10 meg or larger file when 5 meg has been the limit. However, I got several last week that are so small that it's going to be really difficult to see what the work is. I can enlarge it, but why should I? That's not my job. I told you what your job was. My job is to I'm one of the judges, is to look at the piece that you submitted. And if you don't care enough to make it look the best it can be, what can I say?
Not our problem.
That's right. And along with that, I'm lucky. I have a fancy pantsy scanner. I'm able to scan my work and submit really nice images of my work. But not everybody has that, and I get that. And quite often you have to take a picture with your phone. But you know what? Most phones have a nice crop feature. We don't need to see the background of your living room in your submission photos unless you're really proud of it. But I mean, I've even been on a call where a judge was going through images that were submitted, and he'll comment. It's like, you know, it's too bad the easel was in this picture. It's too bad that this was not cropped out. Too bad. And it is, you may not say, you can say, but what, why don't they just look at the art? It's a distraction. And you don't want anything to distract from your work being selected because you've got good work. Let me see. I'll take a breath and I'll let Alyssa talk.
Sure, sure. So again, at the Jung Center, we have an open call every year for a solo show at the Jung Center. Sometimes we do pair people up. We have a main gallery and a side gallery. So sometimes a solo show means sharing space. And for us, we have a prospectus that pretty much stays the same every year. I check it over every year to make sure I don't need to make any changes. But what I have discovered, so we have a committee. We have an arts and exhibitions committee at the Jung Center that's made up of we have a board member on the committee. We have a former gallerist. We have a collector. We have an arts nonprofit specialist. And we also have a couple of artists on the committee. And so these for us, the submissions are reviewed by a committee. And then decisions are made during that committee meeting. And so I know the patterns that I've seen watching this committee operate over the last 6-7 years. And it is really important to have a tight artist bio. It's really important to have an updated and ready to go CV. It's really important to have an updated and ready to go artist statement. But I will tell you, the images are where it's at. Our committee, we have anywhere from 4 to 6 open slots every year, and we get up to anywhere from 30 to 40 submissions. And so our committee, in making their way through those 30 to 40 submissions, they really rely on the imagery. We provide all the information to the committee. They have access to all that ancillary information, but when we're in the room making the decision, they're depending on the imagery to tell them what they want to see. They want to see either a cohesive body of work, or they want to see an apparent storyline in the work. If someone is multidisciplinary, that's not an issue. We just have to see how the different work relates within the context of this show that you are proposing. Because a lot of times the committee will see the imagery and they'll say yes. They have not looked at the CV. They have not looked at the statement. They have not looked at anything other than the work. And that's how the decision is made. But again, the other information comes in handy if we have to have a paring down process. If we can narrow it down to 10 and then we have to somehow get that down to 5 or 6, that's when those ancillary materials come in handy. It's important to provide the size of your work, the pricing of your work, if it is for sale. The committee is always really interested to know the sizing, because we can't tell from the laptop image that I am putting up on a projector screen, right? So they're always very interested in the dimensions. They're always very interested in the medium or the technique used. And that's the information that really informs their decisions. We also have an annual community show that is a group show that folks submit to. And so with my experience around that, I will say there's a lot of juried and group shows out there, not just in Houston, but in the larger community and complex. Some of them are free to enter, some of them have a fee, and the fees vary wildly from gallery to gallery, from show to show. But I just want to make sure people know there are so many free options out there. I always hate for money to be a barrier to participation or entry. And so if money is a barrier, send an email. It never hurts to ask the question. Because again, I know for me, I would never want that to be a barrier for someone to be able to participate. Um, and so I'll turn it back over to Melody for my closer, just to let Melody know I've got a list of resources for finding out about shows. And so I'll rattle that off shortly. But first I'll hand it back over to Melody.
Yeah, thanks. And just one little thing. There is a difference between a bio and an artist statement. First of all, when you read a biography about somebody, it's in third person. So a bio is a third person, like this is who I am. An artist statement is this is my art. It's first person. This is what inspires me. This is why I do what I do. And it's important to know the difference in those. The bio doesn't change nearly as often as maybe the artist statement, because we evolve, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, I don't know if this has ever happened to Alyssa, but if you don't get in a show, and not many of us get in all the shows, I never have. So you just say, I didn't get into this one, and move on. Going back and complaining is not a good idea either. And this kind of gets back to what I was talking about, the example I have about the conventions in the prospectus. A former president of VAA, the Visual Arts Alliance, stopped by my studio one day on the way to see another artist who used to be in my building. Because when he didn't get into the show, he wrote a nasty letter to the exhibition person. And the thing is, the juror had never even seen his work, because there was, and these guys are real strict, let me tell you, VAA doesn't mess around. If the filing naming convention didn't match to the prospectus, and that didn't even get any further than that. And so do not be the cause of you not getting in a show because you can't follow instructions. That's what I'm saying. Like, read it. When I see these naming conventions, and they vary, even these organizations that do have the web apps, they will have a naming convention. They will have file sizes. They will have so many pixels in the longest direction and all that. I copy it. I stick it in Notepad, and I just almost like type over it to make sure that I name my files appropriately, because I don't want my stuff to be stopped at the front door. You never want your work to be stopped at that point. And
yeah, and speaking for our process, we ask for 10 images for our submissions. People sure do love to send more than 10. But what happens is, if you send more than 10, the committee only looks at the first 10. They do not look at any of the rest. And boy, people like to put something really juicy at the end. And that may not get seen at all. I've also had submissions where, again, we have a maximum of 10 images, and I've had people submit with only 3 or 4. It's a valid submission, but you're probably not going to get picked. If you're allowed up to 10, do 10. And then I was also reminded by Melody about the email correspondence. I discovered how helpful it was to send a confirmation of receipt when I get submissions. So when I get a submission, I send an email to every single one of them, and I say either you are missing information, please try again, or your submission is complete. Thank you. Here's the next step of the process. Stay tuned. And so if you're worried that maybe someone didn't get a submission or you never heard back, reach out. Again, it's worth sending an email, because what if your submission wasn't received? Uh, and I also try to give feedback, when I'm letting down 25, 26 people, that have submitted. Not everybody does this, and not everybody has time to do this, but I know for me, I really try to give feedback. I try to let people know what the committee said about their work, in a way that might be helpful and forward movement for their career and process.
Yeah, and when I was talking about knowing how to count, the exhibition, the call that I just finished, I just said no more than 5, up to 5. And you can't believe I get 8, 7, 6. Knowing how to count to 5 or whatever that number is, 10, is an important part of this process, because now you're thinking, what is this person going to be able to follow any other instructions? I had to laugh at this. That my deadline was the 13th of February, and I got the last submission in at 11:53 that night. It's still on time. It was before midnight, and I was glad to have it. And then I got another one at 2:43 the next day, along with a note saying, I thought Valentine's Day was Sunday, so I was thinking I had Saturday to get it in, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and I wrote it back, and it's like, sorry, you didn't get in. It's like, and I get it, how time can get away from a person. And I've missed deadlines myself because I get busy, take the eye off the ball. And I even have a spreadsheet where I have all this information sorted by close date. And I'll still, get too busy to respond to a call that I wanted to be in. So you have to take some ownership and be like an adult to submit these pieces. So I don't know, Lisa, you think we're ready to call in the
Real quick before we turn things over to Deborah and Marie, I just want to give a brief list of resources for looking for shows that are available out there. And the list starts off with the WIVLA newsletter. The monthly WIVLA newsletter is a veritable treasure trove of resources around upcoming shows, local galleries, all sorts of stuff. And so scroll down, keep scrolling. There's a wealth of information in every newsletter, both visual and literary. So having said that, I'm going to repeat a bunch of resources that you will find in that newsletter, but hopefully a few additional ones as well, right? So there's a great website called callforentry.org. And they are a fantastic clearinghouse of available exhibits and people that currently have open calls up, as well as future ones. More locally, we have the Houston Arts Alliance, more specifically the Fresh Arts. Fresh Arts is the branch of the Houston Arts Alliance that does a lot of work around promoting events, workshops, but also they do a good job of promoting opportunity out there for artists. There is the Houston Museum District, houstonmuse.org. And I say that because the Jung Center is a member and we have an open call prospectus. And so there are opportunities to be found there. Archway Gallery, of course. Also the WIVLA private Facebook group page. We have a public Facebook page, but we also have a private group, and a lot of people sort of self-report when they find out about opportunities and post them there. There's the Art League of Houston. There's also the Galveston Art League. And so it's helpful to think outside the box, the very large box that is Houston. I've heard so many people make announcements, members here make announcements about having work in San Antonio, in in Beeville, in all points near and far around Houston. So expand your horizon a bit. There's also Glass Tire, of course, which is Texas wide, but there's a really robust section in Houston there. And then finally, a local person named Melissa Richardson Banks does a newsletter called Mused. She also has a Instagram and Facebook, a social media presence for Mused. And she promotes, again, not just events and workshops, but also opportunities for local artists. So I hope that's helpful. And Melody, feel free to turn the microphone over to Deborah and Marie.
Okay, so just one sec. I got a question from Deidre. Do you want, it's not what I call a real beautiful spreadsheet, but I can show you what I track if that would be helpful. Of course, I'm a spreadsheet gal from way back, but let me
Amen to that. Spreadsheets are your friend.
let me see if I can share it without causing myself too much here. I have like 11 things open on my desktop. Here we go. So it's kind of simple. I've got the exhibition sponsor, the theme, the entry deadline, the date that I submitted it, or not I got in. Also keep track of when I don't keep good track of this, but when the notified date is. And that to me is important. Now that everything's back in person again, you can't submit that. Here's another thing. You can't submit the same piece of artwork to 2 shows. This is how you go to, okay? In case you were wondering fast, that's how you do it. So I also have the opening date for some of them and the end date, and that helps me with scheduling as well. And I have the information. Let's see. And that's just basically
Beautiful, Melody.
Pardon?
That is so beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for a while. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, but it helps me with information about jurors, right? So, which, and I kind of, I mean, jurors are people too, right? And I found that after I went to Wendy Schneider is a common juror for photography, in particular floral or nature photography. So she's represented here in Houston among other places. And I went to look at some of her work one day, and the next time I submitted something, I kind of kept her in mind with what I was submitting, and I got in, and then she was a juror at another gallery, and I submitted a similar image for that one, and I got in. So I mean, it's helpful to know who the juror is. Like I said, they're not supposed to be partial to a certain kind of artwork, but sometimes they are. I mean, and but yeah, look and see what they do. Look and see also what kinds of shows they have jurred or judged. And to get an idea of, we have a lot of stuff. I mean, some of us have more stuff than others that we can select from to submit into a show. Okay, and with that, I will start unhighlighting us. Goodbye. And with me. And there's Miss Ellington. And we got Deborah, and now I just need to find Marie.
Marie.
Here we go.
I'm going to say one thing real quick that's going to be off topic. I am a juror and I do different types of shows, and how I jury a show is what work goes together. It never has anything to do with my own work. So as Melanie says, everybody's a little bit different when they jury a show. Okay, Marie, we're up.
All right. Okay, you want to get started with delivery and
Sure.
intake?
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Deborah Ellington. I've been a Houston artist for a very long time. I taught at Lone Star College, was an instructional dean, and I have a studio over at Silver Street. Can't think of, and I do jury shows.
And I am Marika Samayor Harvey. I have my studio at Winter Street. I create collage, mixed media, paintings, both oil and acrylic, and every now and then sculpture. I am currently the exhibitions rep at Winter Street Studios. So I curate all the exhibitions. In addition to planning the exhibitions for the year, I'm also involved in the curating process and installation.
Which is a huge job.
It is.
I did it at Silver for 4 years. It's big.
Yeah, it's a big job.
Okay, so I think on delivery of work, it's really important that, again, you check the prospectus, that your work is on time. It's heartbreaking when somebody shows up and we've already closed down the intake process and we're getting ready to hang. And they say, oh, but I'm here, I've got the work, I've got it with me. We can't hang it because we've already started the process. And it's really, really also important that whatever work you submitted is the work that you're going to bring. You don't substitute something else. Now, Marie, I know that you have a lot of information on the hanging of the work and how it has to be presented.
All right, I can do that now. In talking about the bringing the work that you submitted, number one, what you submit, the photos need to look like the work you submit.
Right.
Because a lot of people will go back and enhance, or they'll produce something that they Photoshop so much that does not look like the work you're delivering. And so or that people show up with work that's not the work they submitted. They forget what they submitted and they just bring different things. And I this happens every time I intake work at Winter Street. People come to me and say, "Oh, I don't remember what I submitted, but I have these four." No substitutions. Period. Just be mindful of what you submit. Write it down. Somehow go back into the submittable or whatever platform and look at what you submitted and bring exactly what you submitted. Also, when you're submitting, make sure that all the fields in the application there's no misspellings, that there's no incorrect information, because the label will print exactly what you submitted. I had so many reprints last time and I'm not doing it again because someone came to me and said, my phone number is wrong in all my work. Well, that's what she submitted. So in all the labels, it printed the wrong phone number. So I'm not doing any reprints ever again, period. The art must be ready to hang. All galleries, studios, they require a special. Now, some might be more lenient than others. But for example, at all of the Sawyer Yards campuses or buildings, no sawtooth, no hooks, no canvases without D-rings and wire. Some people expect that you're just going to use 2 nails and hang their canvases. Everything has to be wired and ready to hang. All small works must have D-rings and wire. Some larger and heavier pieces, if it's acceptable, they will allow just 2 D-rings, and then you can hang using just the 2 D-rings. Some of the heavier pieces, you might be contacted to install the work yourself. If it's a difficult piece to hang or install. Paintings, this is a big one. Paintings must be wraparound canvases. No paintings that the canvas ends at the edge and you see the staples. Also, your edges must be nice and neat. You can either paint the edges using a color from your design, from your painting. I paint all my edges black or dark gray, and it gives it a finished look. Or you might choose to continue the painting onto the side. But one of my pet peeves is to see paintings where you see the drippings on the side because they did not finish it. It just gives it really, it's not professional. You want your work to look professional. Whether you're submitting to a gallery or in our case at the Sawyer Yard campus, the work must really look professional. Think that how many people are going to see your work, collectors are going to see your work, and if it doesn't look professional, it's a complete turnoff. All works on paper must be framed. I have people come to me with a drawing or a collage and no frame. And how do I install that? So I've had people, I've told people, go to Jerry's Hortorama and buy a frame. And if you make it back by 3, I'll take it. But or the frames are in such bad shape that it just looks horrible. You will not want that in a gallery or any in any studio, period. What else do I have? Very important. All art must remain in the exhibition for the duration of the show. So make sure that if you submit work, you're not planning on submitting it to another exhibition. And then you come back and say, oh, I got picked for another show. I need to take my art. Your art needs to remain in the exhibition for the duration of the show. And that's just it. If someone purchases it, you put a red dot on the label and then they can pick it up when the show is up. Those are just some of the key highlights. I had a little video about wiring, but for some reason I was having a tough time uploading it, and my internet was acting really weird earlier. But if anybody has any trouble wiring pieces or knowing what type of D-rings and wires to buy, I would be more than happy if they come to my studio and I can show them. I mean, it's so important for the wiring. Also, that the wiring, when you wire a piece, there is a particular formula. Let's say you have a canvas that's 40 inches in height. The formula is 1/4 down. So you divide 40 by 4, and that's 10. So when you come down 10 inches, you draw your line on the back. That's where your D-rings are going to go. And make sure your wire is somewhat tight so that when you hang, it will not show over. Because I have a lot of people bring me work, and then when we try to hang, it'll show the hook because the wire is so loose. Also, be mindful of the weight of your piece and buy the wire accordingly. You have no idea how many times the wire just snaps because the piece is just too heavy for it. So whether it's 30-pound or 50-pound, or depending on the size of your work, be mindful of that. I've had people bring me stuff that they use shoelaces instead of wire. You have to laugh
Yeah, but did it work?
You
No.
no, it won't last. Anyway, that's just I have so many stories. It is just it's just incredible what and just really you are call yourself an artist. You're a professional artist. Your work must show your professionalism.
Right.
It's
And
just
on
presentation is very important.
right. And on pedestal pieces, you need to most like when for the collaboration show or any of the Wibbler shows, we don't have pedestals. So any 3D artist has to supply their own pedestal. The pedestal needs to be clean. It needs to look like it's brand new. It needs to be white or it detracts from the show. The other thing I've seen is people provide a pedestal that is too small for the piece. If you have a piece of sculpture that is not stable, you need to be able to stabilize that piece on a pedestal because you are risking not only your piece being damaged, but of hurting someone else. So the pedestal needs, again, not scuffed up, not chipped up. Many times, especially at Sabine, it has an uneven floor. I always bring some extra cardboard so I can shim up my pedestals and put it underneath it. So that is also very important. The other thing is, Maureen, I think you've probably seen this on like watercolors and works on paper where they put it in a really fragile frame and then they would put a D-ring on it and the frame fell apart.
Yes.
So it's really important that the hangers also not only are substantial, the frames are substantial and will hold the weight of whatever you're showing. Because if you put a paper piece or watercolor under glass, the glass is heavy. So you need to have a frame that's going to be able to hold that. Marie, can you think of anything else?
Uh, One of my favorite is, and this happens at the Winter Street Studios, people will come and tell me that they don't like where the pizza is. Yeah, you gave me a bad spot. They want, and it's really the same artist over and over and over. They want the piece in in prime real estate. And when we are curating, and you know this, Deborah, when we're curating, the exhibition has to flow. There, there is a way that when you're walking through it, everything flows and it's coherent and it makes sense. Demanding that I change your piece, like, oh, I want my piece moved over here, or why isn't my piece next to my door? In the case of one of our studios, you would not go to a gallery and say, I don't like where my piece is. Period. That's just not.
So
So
that happens. That happens in galleries too, rest assured.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that it's not just us.
Oh no.
Yes. Why am I here? Why is my work here? And so please don't. That's just back to arguing with a juror or the curator. That is not that will get you really not on a good list with curators if you do that. Yeah. And back to something that Melody said, we had a Wibla exhibit a couple of years ago that one artist was very, very upset and was demanding her money back. Do you remember, Melody?
Oh, yeah.
She was demanding her money back. And then because I know this person, I personally messaged her. And then she said, oh, well, I guess it's for a good cause. Keep the money.
Well, I would have made that refund on principal alone. You bet you can have your money back.
And then, and I can't think of anything else except on pickup please make sure you're on time. I mean, we're working with volunteers. We're trying to, get everything done in a timely manner because we have the space for only a certain amount of time.
And in most places, there's really no place to store art that hasn't been picked up. It puts us on a bind if you do not pick up your work on time. We got to start patching and painting the walls for the next exhibition. And so there is just, there's just no time. If it says pick up by a certain day, or if you can't pick up yourself, make arrangements with a fellow artist or a friend to pick up the art for you. It's just very difficult for art to be stored. And some places they'll just get rid of it, period.
Visual Arts Alliance, they don't play. If you don't pick up your art, it goes to the dumpster.
Yeah, and I don't know now, but they used to give you an hour. And if you didn't pick it up in the course of the hour, say goodbye to your work. I think they're more lenient now.
It might be 2 hours.
And to Marie's point about the framing and Deborah's also, we did have someone bring a husband, poor guy, brought some work by for intake for the Rise show. And the work was beautiful and it was falling out of the frame and we couldn't take it. And unfortunately, it was like 2 minutes before the deadline. And so over the past 5 or 6 years, I've started looking at my framing differently. And I think it's the same way with pedestals. It's an extension of your piece. It highlights it, it shows it off. And I know I've changed the way I frame my pieces, and I've been more successful with the pieces that are framed that complement the work. They shouldn't detract from it. And think about it. Marie says, well, you wouldn't want this in a gallery or wherever. Would you want it in somebody's home? I mean, people are going to come in and say, where'd you get that? I mean, you want them to say, where'd you get that? And say that the whole thing goes together well.
Yeah.
So anybody have any questions for the four of us?
I do. I have one.
And June Russell had a comment as well. Go ahead,
let's
Susan.
hear from June. We can come back to me. Let's hear from June.
Okay. I had to unmute. You guys hear me okay?
Do we want to put everybody back on screen?
Yeah, let's go back.
Spotlights. Oh, we'll just keep Marie up here.
Well, I have to say, my first solo show was at the Jung Center, and I did the whole place. I didn't have another artist with me. That was work. But the thing that took me a long time to understand was that if I didn't get accepted in a show, it didn't mean my work was shit. Well, as they've discussed, the juror has this whole clump of stuff, and out of this, they're picking something that will mesh together. So you have a gorgeous thing, but everybody else's thing is black and white. It can be an issue that way. And it's just whatever the circumstances were, it doesn't mean your work stunk.
Thank you, June. That is a key bit of optimism that I am so glad you shared.
And that's absolutely true. It's going to go together. It's like telling the story, someone said in comments. If it doesn't go together and you're going, what is this? What is that? Why is this next to that? Then it's not a good show.
I submitted work to a show, and the theme was light. And so I sent a bunch of bright things, interesting patterns and lights and stuff. and I didn't get in. And when the show came up and I saw what did get in, it was like almost everything was dark. It was crazy. And I had a chance to talk to the curator later, and he said, "Yeah, that's the darkest light show we ever had."
And I talked to one of the art instructors at LaSalle, and he said there's times when I've submitted work for a show and I'll think, I can't believe I didn't get in. And I'll look at what was selected and I'll say, oh, now I get it. He said, although there are times I look at it and it's like I still don't get it. But I mean, it is all about the view of the juror. And you
And
know,
their mood that day.
right. Well, I mean, you can enter something in a show and it gets selected. You may even get a prize. You enter the same thing in another show and it's not selected. You know, to June's point, it's not a reflection on your work, it's a reflection on it making a nice cohesive show.
Yeah. One other
I have
thing,
a question.
if I may mention one other thing, it may not be that much of an issue still, but in days gone by, plexiglass was ridiculously expensive, so everything was framed with glass. I'm a photographer, so paper, photographs, glass. And these days, there is usually something that says no glass.
I'm on a video call.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Jamie.
And Bobby,
just-
we'll get to you, but Susan, you had a question?
Oh, I was just going to say what I have found is if it says, you know, like a juried show where you're allowed to submit up to 3 pieces, submit 3 pieces. Even if you don't think the third piece fits exactly with what you thought of in the perspective, because sometimes I found it's those pieces that get chosen and not say the piece that I specifically made for the show
Almost all the time.
Okay, I had a question for Melody and for Alyssa. Say someone is fairly new in their art journey, but they want to submit to a show and they don't have a website and they don't have a CV. And say the juror really likes their work, and you say that they go back and look at that. I mean, would that have a huge bearing on whether or not they would get accepted if they don't have a website and a CV?
Well, not for an individual show, like the
the
Whipple has.
TV maybe, but not a website.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, Alyssa, but now with social media, I mean, most visual artists have an Instagram feed. I mean, come on. I mean, it's free.
Yeah.
But website, that's a whole nother thing. But it's important, even if you don't have your CV on display, to keep track of your stuff.
Sure.
And just keep track of it. Because there are shows like The Big Show, they want that. You
I
know.
would say you should, I mean, even if you're a self-taught artist, there's got to be some places that you at least learn something from somebody and you can put that on a CV. And at least have that even if you've not been in a show. Just speaking for when I had to do a CV for work and had no work experience because I had just graduated from college. So
Yeah, and for us, we request either a bio or a CV. We like to give people the option. Again, because we like to feature emerging artists, and often they've not had a chance to really build up what they view as a worthwhile CV yet. And the same thing with websites. It is, if an artist has a website, we love to include that information as part of the show and help them get exposure. But we've had a number of artists where we don't have any of that, or sometimes just an Instagram. It makes no difference to us.
And some of the shows I have juried, a CV is not required, or a bio, or an artist statement. It's all basically just based on the artwork, period.
That's most of them, I would think.
And Bobby, you were waiting very patiently if you're still here and have a question.
Yes, when the prospectus is asking for the images and the piece that you're going to submit is paper, would you submit the images with the frame or without the frame?
Without.
Without.
Frame, okay.
Without.
Will the prospectus give you guidelines on types of frames that are accepted or are not accepted?
Well, you're talking about if it's selected for the show?
Correct.
They usually are pretty specific about the hanging hard.
Okay.
Yeah, usually there's not a lot of input from the gallery or the sponsor on the style of frame. Again, that's unique to you and your work. What's important to us is the hanging hardware on the back.
Okay, perfect.
In my experience, I was always told black frame, very simple. No colorful, exciting things.
Don't distract from it. Okay, thank you.
Well, and I've now got frames that complement. Black frames don't work with my art. So you really need to look at what your media is.
Mm-hmm.
But for you can take that, you can put this in ink. Do not use sawtooth.
Yeah.
Never use sawtooth.
Yeah. If a frame comes with that, go to the hardware store and get you some D rings and some wire. Don't ever use some.
We've had artwork come in with no hangers, literally no visible way of hanging the work. We really have seen it all, ladies.
That doesn't work with the hanging system too well, does it?
I was just gonna say, like, when you're about the submitting the photos, the reason why you don't want to take a picture of it inside the frame is if it's got glass in front of it, the glass is gonna be reflective, so you're gonna miss parts of the actual piece. You know, like sometimes for my own pieces, I will take a picture of it before I put lacquer on it, because once I put the lacquer on it, it's shiny and it's getting reflective, and you can see it when it's like in front of you, great, but with a photo, it's too reflective.
I have one comment. Photograph your work before you sign it. I found that out. Someone said that, when a juror or a juror is looking at your piece, it's best that you do not have your name.
Especially if it's a blind judging.
Yes, yes.
I think most of them are.
So now I photograph my work before I sign it.
And Pat Waddle, now with she's the president of Houston Art Society, and for their shows, which are judged, and because I think someone asked the question about the difference in juried and judged, we have to cover up because you have to cover up your signature if it's visible artwork when you enter it in the show.
Yeah, and I'll speak to that. We are a member of the Lone Star Art Guild, so the rules we follow are the rules for all the clubs, which there are 12 throughout Texas in the Lone Star Art Guild. But everything you said today is what we do. And we, also have the frames arrive that are falling apart. And the last show, someone who had never been in a show before arrived with two beautiful oil paintings. And not only were they not framed, they were not wired. Again, what I said, what did you expect us to do with these? We wired them for her so she could be in the show. But, that is a lot to expect people to do. And the water.
Wet.
Pardon me?
Sorry, paintings that are wet.
Yes. And that's one of the rules too. You cannot arrive with a wet oil painting. I belong to Wash, and Wash is very specific about the framing. It can't be wider than 2 inches, cannot have any carving at all on it. The best thing to do is go buy frames at Michael's when they're on sale and just get black frames and be able to keep reusing them, and everything has to be under plexiglass also. And I would like to give a little plug for Houston Art Society that we have 2 shows a year, and they are open shows. So you don't have to be a member of the Houston Art Society to participate in our shows. It costs you more if you're not a member, and our membership's only $30. So a lot of times it's cheaper to become a member and then enter rather than pay the extra fees. But we have a show April 18th if anybody's interested.
Several WIVLA members are members of
Yeah, and a lot of the WEVLA, well, not a lot, but some of the WEVLA members are members of HAS. I think we have about 5 on the screen tonight. Yeah.
Last month I was delivering a piece, and it was wired, but I guess because it's been in several shows and, rubbing up against, and I'm carrying it in, and in the parking lot, the wire breaks. I was so mortified. They're like, it's okay. We have wire. We can rewire it for you. I was like, thanks. Okay, I promise it was, the regular, heavy duty wire. I just, I don't know, it just broke.
Well, Deborah and I were installing a show at spring for Art on the Avenue, and as I put something on the wall, I mean, the little what eyelet hooks just came right out, like. And we didn't have stuff to rewire. I mean, we just set it down on the ground, let somebody else take care of it later. Yeah, if you got to, you have to respect your artwork. I mean, that's the bottom line. You have to respect it and treat it with respect. So because you want whoever's going to buy it to treat it with respect also. I always look at it as I'm rehoming my artwork.
If it's not professionally, if it's not presented in a professional manner, people will not buy it.
Or they expect a discount.
Well, I'm looking around from screen to screen here to see if anybody else has their hand up. I'm not seeing.
Did the question get answered about the difference between a judged and a juried show?
I put that in the comments.
Deb answered it in the chat.
Yeah, I answered it in the chat. Judged in a show, the judge will pick first, second, third. The pieces are all accepted unless there's not enough room. But in a juried show, you may not get any work in at all. For in a judge show, you will have your work in it, no matter what. And it's just picking the prizes. Juried, you may not get in. As many of us said tonight, it's interesting. You may get in one show, win a prize, same piece, not get in the next one. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the work. Although it sometimes does, I have to say this. As a juror, I tell everybody that it's like grading a research paper or a poem or a composition. Our elements and principles of design are our language of art. They need to be applied appropriately.
Could I offer some information? If anyone is interested, one of our members, Jerry Pfister, has written a memoir. How do you say that?
Memoir. Yeah.
Memoir. And she is doing a book signing and I think a reading from it. And it's going to be the 23rd, February 23rd at 3 in the afternoon at Brazos, where it's the residential place where she lives, in their community room, which is right on the first floor. As you enter the front area, the gate, and just to the right. So 3 o'clock on February 23rd.
So before we get into the rest of the information sharing, was there anything else? Any other questions or comments about this evening?
Well, I have one, and that is, I never knew that I could email back and ask for comments on my work. I didn't know that, so
Not always.
I will do that.
I mean, I can't guarantee you're going to get an answer.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think that's very generous of you, the way that you do it. And I guess I didn't know that other shows would allow you to do that.
Please don't do it.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
What?
Please don't do it for
doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna email back and say, why didn't I get in? It's just, you said that they would give you feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have another newbie question. I was searching on the website and through the Facebook page to see if there is a listing of the upcoming books for the book club. Where would I find that?
So
The newsletter has it. You could look at all the newsletters are online, and you can look back at that. That's one place.
The calendar has them posted. So if you go to the WIBLA calendar and just scroll down through the calendar of events, the WIBLA Book Club events are usually the last Saturday of the month. So scroll down to the end of the month, and then there you can find a calendar event that is talking about the book club. And if you open up each of those different events, you will see what that book is for that month and a description of the book. We don't require registration.
Super. Thank you. Thank you.
Part that you read the book.
You don't have to finish the book to come. Try to start it at least. But we've had plenty of people show up who haven't finished. You just get ready for spoilers.
we have a raised hand.
Yes, hi, this is Anna Lynn Anderson Lee, and I listed a question because I think I've been looking at the callforentry.org website, and they're all over the United States, and you have to mail I do photography, so I'd have to mail that and then have it sent back. And I just wondered, have very many of you done that and had success? I mean, getting accepted is great, but if you don't get accepted, or, well, if you get accepted, then you have to get your work back.
So I can address that.
Thank you.
So what's great is there are some galleries that are specialized in photography, especially, that they have such a great deal. It's like you send a high quality TIFF file, they will print it, and for a price, they will mat it, print it, frame it, and then you have the option of them sending it back. Now they'll charge you to send it back, but I have found that taking advantage of the service and then letting them keep the file, keep it for their in their gallery works fine. I think I've had it only sent back once, but it saves you that hassle of this shipping back and forth. Unfortunately, lately, a lot of the photography galleries have gone online only, but that is a plus because then you just need to have your image file and they'll put it online. But you definitely don't want to have glass when you ship it, and not use peanuts. They don't like. No
peanuts.
Bubble wrap, please, and protection on the ends. But no, peanuts get everywhere.
Yeah. And what was the name of that gallery that you sent your work to?
So the last one was
or was it a service? You said that printed your
back when they had a brick and mortar place, Southeast Center for Photography would do that, but also Photo Place Gallery in Vermont still does that. A. Smith Gallery, I guess I don't know if I ever had them print stuff, but I was able to send them sometimes just the matted work, and then they would, for a price, they would do the framing.
Okay.
Framing, that's kind of a hassle for us, and it adds weight on anything that you're shipping. But a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
strictly photography, will offer that kind of a service.
Okay, thank you.
Texas Photographic Society, if you're shipping to them, they don't do the printing for you, at least they haven't at this point, but you can buy these clamshell boxes that are very rigid and lightweight, and they have foam inserts. And that is what I always use. And then you include a prepaid shipping label for return shipping.
Thank you.
Donna has a question.
Yes, I just wanted to say something about bubble wrap, because I've seen things happen with that. The slick side of the bubble wrap goes down on the surface of the painting or on the glass or the, whatever. Don't have the bubbly side next to your image or your frame.
I would actually recommend you wrap it in glycine first.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Glycine first.
Yeah, at our gallery, we don't Windex your glass for you.
Gosh. All right. Any other questions for our presenters tonight?
Great program. Thank you
I think
so
it was
much.
fantastic, you guys. I really learned a lot. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
one quick question on some of the fresh art or cafe art ones. A lot of them, the online ones, knowing which ones are something you should, submit to, and something that is really just going to take your money and no one's going to see. And how do you know the difference?
I think you learn after.
Yeah.
That just takes investigation.
Also check out the jurors.
Yeah.
I mean, check out the jurors. If they're a juror that has been doing it for a while or is a well-known juror, that's a key. Especially if it's a national show.
Okay, Denise has her hand raised, and then Catherine.
I just want to announce that while we had our meeting, we had 2 new members.
Woo!
So Bobby, thank you for becoming a WIBLA member. And then we've had Kristen Mishner also join. So welcome
Okay.
aboard, ladies.
We also have another new member with us tonight, Diane Wagesbach. She just joined, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, or I'm not sure
Thank
when.
you. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever it was, not long ago. Thank you.
Welcome, Diane.
Thank you.
Oh, Catherine. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I have one announcement. This weekend, February 21st, 6 to 10, there's a Hardy and Nance show. It's a collage art show, and I have 3 pieces in there. Leslie Archibald has some pieces in there, and Kathy Crawford has some pieces in there. So if you want to come out and see some art, Saturday night, 6 to 10 over at Hardy and Nance. That's a great place for calls. They have one almost every month. It's a great place to show. They're very friendly.
Yeah, their shows are the 3rd Saturday of the month. Yeah.
Yeah, get on mailing lists.
Right.
I think you have to follow them on Facebook because they only announce those calls on Facebook. Correct. They're all Facebook calls.
Yeah, the Fresh Arts newsletter for opportunities for artists comes out every Thursday.
All right.
Okay. Margot.
Yes, I'm involved in a storytelling event at Archway Gallery this Sunday, 5:15 to about 7-ish. And I'm going to practice telling a lie that I will present in Denton at the state storytelling convention. And then there are others. I'm going to put this in the in the chat, but there'll be several storytellers telling. They've told stories at the Moth and won first place and been on the radio, so they are much better than me. So come out and have a good time, and we'll go to La Tapatia for dinner afterwards. So it should be fun.
I think Diana had a question.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that Spring Street has a show. I've got 3 pieces in, and they say I just dropped them off today. They've got,
Their opening is March 6th.
yeah, they say Saturday, March 6th on their thing, but
That's the 7th.
that's a
It's a
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's really Friday or Saturday. I've got to call her
Saturday.
and find out.
Whoops.
It's the opening is Saturday, March 7th then? I don't know. I've got to call her. But the
I
show
believe it's
hangs
Friday.
February.
A lot of their openings are on Fridays.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. But February 28th to May 9th is the show.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be a great show.
I think Marie's going to be your go-to resource, aren't you? Yeah.
Marie's in that show. Matter of fact, she was in the publicity material. I'm in that show.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you?
in the
Charlie is in the show.
Shirley,
Yeah.
are you in that show?
Yeah.
Gary.
Sherry Randolph is the person coordinating it. So I'll send her a note tomorrow and find out about the opening. I mean, the reception.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called. But anyway, thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Shirley, did you have an announcement or you were just raising your
No,
hand?
I was just wanting to be included in those of us who have works in that show. There are quite a few of us on this screen right now who are a part of that. It's pretty fun.
Debbie had her hand up.
I was accepted into a show at the San Antonio Art League Museum, and will be taking my
Nice.
work up there on Friday.
All right.
Very nice.
Good. Jamie.
So I currently have 3 pieces on display at Webster Presbyterian, their Sanctuary for the Arts, and 1 piece up in the Woodlands at the Artist Gallery for the Material Matters. And I got 1 piece accepted into the WCA art show in San Antonio. I think the reception for that is March 5th. So
Congratulations.
Okay.
Aline.
So for those of you who are members of the art leagues that participate in LSAG or Lone Star Art Guild, the Art League of Baytown is doing intake for a qualifying show for LSAG on the 19th and 20th, which is the end of this week, if you want to enter there for a qualifier.
Okay. Is that online or do you have to drop off?
Yeah, it should be, it's on their website. ALB, I think.org.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. I see AAL.
Yeah,
ALB.
that's me again, Anna Lynn. And
there you go.
yes, I haven't been able to attend for a long time. And I just want to announce that I don't have any art accepted into anything right now, but I just wanted to make a plug for Photo Fest. That's coming up, over there in Spring Street, and that'll be in March. And there's going to be some wonderful stuff. I went for the first time. It's every other year. So I went for the first time 2 years ago, and I might as well have just, put a tent and a sleeping bag out because I couldn't get enough of it. There was just so much going on, and, I'd end up finding about another workshop and just, buy a snack and hang out for the next workshop. It was so much fun. So for the artists and those that like to look at photos, it's a great place to go.
Yeah, they're going to start installing in my building tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's Silver. I expect to see you at Silver Street too. Deborah and I.
They started installing today. They've got almost one whole section done.
Yeah, it's the 40th year retrospective, so it's a big deal. And there are participating spaces that are affiliated with the Photo Fest show. And I wish they haven't put their books out yet, but Eileen and I are in one of the participating spaces that will open on St. Patrick's Day at the Cloister Gallery downtown. And The show that I'm judging or jurying for Glassell is also a participating space, and that will be opening way too soon. Maybe in a couple of weeks. I can't remember the date. But there's also the Houston Center for Photography. It's a big time for photographers. Their gala and auction is Thursday, and I have a piece in the silent auction. So you can go online and bid on it, or you can go to the gala and bid on it. I'm excited. I get a free chicken dinner.
Yeah,
That's huge.
congratulations. That's exciting.
Huge.
Yeah.
So I am also juried into a participating space for Photo Fest at the Art League of Baytown that was juried by Catherine Couturier, who has the Fine Art Photography Gallery here in Houston.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Diane, did you have something else?
You're on mute.
Muted.
Oh, okay. Diana, you're muted.
Sorry. I was just saying, no, congratulations to everyone and yay, and for all of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I really think that that's what WIVLA does for us, is that it gets our minds going. It opens up opportunities, not just with WIVLA, but in so many other areas. And we're all here for each other, right? Yes. Any other announcements or successes or anything you want to say before we sign off tonight? It's been a great meeting. Really, really informative and fun.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, everybody. Well, take care. And don't forget to come to the meet and greet if you don't have a partner for the collaboration yet.
Winter Street Studios, B240 upstairs.
What date is that? When is that?
It's Sunday. Sorry, Sunday the 22nd.
Sunday.
1 to 3 p.m.
Sunday the 22nd
Yes.
from
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Yes.
And where is it?
Winter Street Studios.
Yeah.
The address is 2101.
Yeah.
Winter
No, I know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I already have a partner, but I'm going to be there as a matchmaker.
But which studio, Winter Street? Which studio?
B240 upstairs.
B240?
Yes.
Yeah, I have been in some galleries in Winter Street and silos in the past. I just went into a shared space in the silos just recently. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. All right. Sunday, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Come by
on the
Archway
22nd.
afterwards at 5 for some stories.
Oh, so what is it? Say that again.
Stories are long.
And come to Archway after you go to what is it, Winter Street? Summer Street. Yeah. Come by for stories afterwards at 5:15.
To where?
Archway Gallery on
Archway.
Dunleavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been to Archway. Yeah. From at 5?
About 5:15 to 7.
Yeah, 5:15 to 7. Yeah, I could probably do that. I'm Alan Tude. Do you know who Alan Tude is? He's a fashion designer. He's got his 10th year anniversary show at the Houston Museum of Fine Arts on Sunday night, that night. And I did a show with Alan several years ago after Harvey, and my artwork hung and the models walked and stuff. So, but I'll try to come by that, and then I'm gonna go see Alan. So we'll see. Yeah.
Good day.
Well, just one parting thing. If you're new to WIVLA, please put your events on the calendar.
Okay.
And for all the rest of you, check the calendar because there's a lot on there that you need to know about. Did you have something else, Melody? Oh, no. Okay. We're going to say good night.
Good
night. Good night.